Welcome to Hidden African Tales, where we bring you the most magical and inspiring stories from the heart of Africa. Today, we have an incredible tale about a young hunter, a hidden queen, and the power of kindness and patience. If you love stories filled with mystery and wisdom, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more hidden stories. Faru was a young man who lived alone in Koba village. His parents had passed away, so he had to take care of himself. He lived in a small hut away from the village center and worked as a hunter. But no matter how hard he tried, he never caught big animals. Every day he would return with small bush rats or grass cutters. The other hunters made fun of him, saying, "Faru, come talk to us when you catch something big." But Faru didn't let their words bother him. He knew he was doing his best. He would take his small catch to Jabari's shop and trade it for food. Jabari liked him because he was always polite, even though the villagers often laughed at him. The people in the village didn't like Faru much because of his quiet nature and simple clothes. Even his friends left him, calling him a loser. But Faru never got angry or fought back. He stayed kind and hopeful, believing that one day things would get better. One morning, as Faru was heading to the forest, he saw two sisters, Zina and Lami, chatting and laughing. He greeted them kindly. "Good morning, sisters." But they just looked at each other and laughed louder. Faru didn't understand why. Still, he gathered courage and asked, "Can I talk to one of you?" Zina smirked and said, "Even if we were dead, we wouldn't accept your proposal." Lami added, "Look at you, wearing ragged clothes and catching tiny animals. What can you offer anyone?" Their words hurt like a sharp thorn. Faru felt his heart sink, but he stayed silent. He watched them walk away, laughing at him. Later that day, Faru went hunting again. Even though he was sad, he didn't give up. By evening, he had caught 2 grass cutters and 2 bush rats. "Maybe I can sell these at the market," he thought, holding on to hope. Though Zina and Lami's words still stung, he reminded himself that he was more than their insults. At the market, Faru set up his small catch for sale. To his surprise, Zina and Lami walked up to him. "Faru, we want to buy some bush meat," Zina said sweetly. Faru, hoping they would be fair this time, offered, "Each bush rat is 7 silver coins, but I'll sell them to you for 5 silver coins each." Lami counted 10 coins and showed them to him. "Here's your money," she said. Trusting them, Faru handed over the bush meat. But instead of paying, Zina grabbed the meat, and both sisters turned and walked away, laughing. Faru stood there in shock. They had tricked him. The people in the market saw what happened, and, instead of helping, they laughed. "Faru, you can't even sell your catch without being cheated," they mocked. Faru felt crushed, but didn't cry. He quietly picked up his remaining grass cutters and walked away. One afternoon, after a long day of hunting, Faru went to the stream to bathe. As he got closer, he heard someone crying. He followed the sound and found a large woman sitting by the water, her face buried in her hands. "Hello," Faru said softly. "Why are you crying?" The woman, named Amara, looked up in surprise. With tears in her eyes, she said, "People make fun of me because of my size. No one wants to be my friend, and everyone laughs at me." Faru listened and understood her pain. He knew how it felt to be laughed at. Instead of saying something hurtful, he smiled and said, "You are beautiful." Amara stopped crying and stared at him. No one had ever told her that before. "Really?" she asked. "Yes," Faru said. "Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." Amara wiped her tears, feeling a little hopeful. As Faru left, he turned back and said, "I will come back to see you at sunset." Amara was surprised. No one had ever promised to visit her. She wasn't sure if he really would. That evening, as the sun set, Faru kept his promise. He walked to Amara's hut, feeling a little nervous. When he arrived, Amara was sitting outside, cooking. She looked up and was surprised. "You really came," she said softly. "I told you I would," Faru replied with a smile. They sat together and talked under the stars. Amara shared how she had moved to Koba village a year ago but had no friends because of her size. She spent her time making beautiful crafts, but no one cared. She felt lonely. Faru nodded. I understand. The villagers laugh at me too because I don't catch big animals. But I've learned that what others say doesn't matter. You are special, Amara. For the first time, Amara felt seen. She smiled, feeling warmth in her heart. Before leaving, Faru gave her one of his bush rats. This is for you, he said. Amara was touched. No one had ever given her anything before. From that night on, Faru visited Amara every evening. They talked for hours, shared stories, and laughed. Slowly, they became close friends. Amara no longer felt lonely, and Faru found comfort in her company. Every day, they looked forward to their time together, knowing they had found something special in each other. As time passed, Faru and Amara became even closer. They spent almost every evening together. Faru would bring small gifts like a bush rat or some fruit, and Amara would bring food to his hut, making sure he never went hungry. They shared stories, laughed, and found comfort in each other's company. But the villagers didn't like this. As always, they started gossiping. Look at them, one woman sneered. Two losers, the poor hunter and the elephant. They belong together. Another man laughed. Who else would want them? The whole village whispered about them. People pointed and laughed whenever they saw Faru and Amara together. Faru didn't care. He was used to their cruel words. What mattered to him was his friendship with Amara. But Amara wasn't used to such mean gossip. It hurt her deeply. Yet whenever she was with Faru, the pain didn't feel so bad. He made her feel special and cared for. Seeing how he ignored the villagers' insults, she tried to be strong like him. Despite everything, they were happy together. Life wasn't perfect, but they had each other, and that was enough. One morning, as Faru prepared for another day of hunting, Amara surprised him with a small bundle wrapped in cloth. What's this? Faru asked, untying it carefully. I made it for you, Amara said shyly. Inside was a beautifully woven hunting bag with intricate patterns. It was strong and well crafted, far better than the old tattered bag he used. Faru grinned. This is amazing, Amara. You have real talent. Amara blushed. I just wanted to help. Maybe with this, you'll catch something big one day. Faru laughed and slung the bag over his shoulder. With you by my side, I already feel lucky. Amara smiled, but deep down, she wished she could do more for him. She knew how much the villagers looked down on him, and she wished they could see how kind and hardworking he was. That day, Faru went deeper into the forest than usual. As he followed the trail of a wild boar, he heard a strange sound, a faint whisper carried by the wind. It was soft, almost like a song. Curious, he followed it until he reached an ancient tree with roots so thick they curled around the ground like giant snakes. The whisper grew louder. Faru! He froze. Who's there? The air shimmered, and suddenly, before him stood a tall, radiant woman. Her skin glowed like the moon, and her eyes held galaxies within them. She wore flowing robes adorned with golden embroidery. Faru stumbled back. Who are you? I am the Hidden Queen, she said in a voice both powerful and gentle. You have a pure heart, Faru. That is why you can see me. Faru blinked in shock. The Hidden Queen was a legend, a spirit said to appear only to those who were truly good. The queen smiled. You have suffered much, yet you never let bitterness take root in your heart. That is why I will bless you. She lifted her hand, and a brilliant light surrounded Faru. He felt warmth spread through his body, filling him with newfound strength. When next you hunt, the queen whispered, your hands shall not return empty. With that, she disappeared like mist in the morning sun. Faru stood still, his heart racing. Had that really happened? Or was it a dream? Deciding to test his luck, he continued hunting. Within moments, he spotted a massive antelope grazing in the clearing. Usually, such animals were too fast for him, but this time his spear struck true. The antelope fell instantly. Faru's eyes widened in shock. Never before had he caught something so big. He quickly tied the antelope and carried it home. As he entered Koba village, people gasped. "Is that an antelope?" one hunter whispered. "Faru caught it," another said in disbelief. Even the village chief came to see. "Young man," he said, stroking his beard, "this is a fine catch. Where did you find such luck?" Faru only smiled. "Hard work and patience, chief." For the first time, people looked at him with admiration instead of scorn. Even Zena and Lami watched in shock. That night, Faru and Amara sat together outside his hut. "You're different," Amara said, watching him closely. "Something happened in the forest, didn't it?" Faru hesitated, then nodded. "I met someone, the Hidden Queen." Amara's eyes widened. "The Hidden Queen? That's just a legend." "Maybe," Faru said, "but after that, everything changed." From that day forward, Faru's luck continued. He caught larger animals, and his hunts never failed. The villagers who once mocked him now respected him. They invited him to their feasts, praised his skill, and even the chief sought his advice. But through it all, Faru never forgot who had stood by him when he was at his lowest. One evening, as the sun painted the sky in shades of gold, he turned to Amara and took her hands in his. "You were with me when I had nothing," he said. "Now I want to be with you always." Tears filled Amara's eyes. "Faru," he smiled, "will you be my wife?" Amara let out a soft sob, then nodded. "Yes." Their wedding was unlike any other. The villagers, who once whispered cruel words, now celebrated them. They danced, sang, and cheered for the hunter and the woman who had always been his greatest supporter. And so, Faru and Amara built a life together, proving that kindness, patience, and love could overcome even the harshest trials. And somewhere deep in the forest, the Hidden Queen watched over them, smiling. This story teaches us that patience, perseverance, and kindness will always be rewarded. Even when others doubt you, staying true to yourself can lead to unexpected blessings. Faru never gave up, and in the end, he found success, love, and happiness. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more hidden African tales. Until next time, keep believing in the magic of kindness and hard work.